This movie is really good, but I don't know if it's perfect. Weapon starring Julia Garner, as Justine, a school teacher whose entire class went missing in one night, except for one kid, and it's been a month. She's dealing with the fallout, along with kind of also being the sole survivor. Like, it's her and Alex. The movie's formula is not what we normally see. It's a non-linear storytelling where every 15 to 20 minute segment is from the view of a different character, different space of time, but also how they co and intersect with one another and how they affect each other. It's not a bad way to tell the story, but I'll be honest, I wish we had had more of Justine, as she's a very human character in all the ways. She's a teacher, but she's also an alcoholic, and I do genuinely believe that she loved those kids. She's trying everything she can to try and get information and find out what happened to them. The community is against her in droves, with Thanos himself riding Witch on her vehicle, and here's a spoiler. That is a spoiler. It's insane to me how Justine catches most help from everyone in this small town, but she's also maybe the one person trying the hardest to try and find out what the hell happened to these kids. All that while we get her two lowest moments. First, when she sleeps with a cop who is seemingly an old friend and an old flame, the knee-jerk reaction is to assume that she simply wants attention, but I'm willing to bet she did it to try and get some information about the investigation. Although this particular cop is useless. She then does something I would argue is worse by pulling up on Alex and trying to get him to talk to him, but he screams at her and runs away. And it's now that I would like to point out that while this film technically might star Julia, it very much feels like an ensemble cast, as everyone has their role to play in either a father being able to try and put the pieces together, the principal seemingly play it safe, the complicit cop, or the druggie that might be the biggest headache in this whole film. Each one pushes the story forward until we get to the tragedy that is Alex. His parents, and I will die on this hill, stupidly allow a stranger into their home, and that's when the nightmare begins for Alex, as he's essentially blackmailed into helping Aunt Gladys kidnap all his classmates as she holds his parents hostage in the worst possible way, with a really disturbing scene that involves a fork. Spoiler. Now let's go into a little more of a spoiler here. The kids are alive, and the Silver Surfer and Thanos are here to try and save them. And I would emphasize try, as the real MVP in this film is, again, Alex, as he finds a way to turn the witch's curse on her, as he sicks his classmates on her, and man, play the clip. You know the age-old question of how many third graders could you beat in a fight? Well, Gladys' answer is 0. I'm sorry, I had to make that joke. The witch is dead, and the scars of the small town seemingly will never heal, because at the very end, the voiceover, it says it's been 10 years since that happened, and some of the kids just started talking. There are various themes at work in this film, as far as the obvious one being the film is an allegory for actual school shootings, the scars that are left behind in the local community, with families being forced to eventually move on. Justine is a tragic character as she deals with some level of survivor's guilt. There's also the blame that teachers get when students fail, but when the student succeeds, they don't get any of the praise. The fact is that a father and a local PD officer were so busy looking for someone to blame instead of finding the problem and actually trying to find the kids when they were right in front of them, under their noses the whole time. It also looks unique and gives an atmosphere of an uneasiness to the world. There are moments that will make you jump and scare you, but this film does a great job of leaving you on the edge 24/7. This movie is very good, but I don't think I can call it perfect. I do wish it were a little more focused on Justine and her story, and maybe a little less of the addict, but maybe that's just me. This movie walks an odd line where there's just a sprinkle of fantasy, but not too much leading in. They don't overly explain things. The primary villain is a witch who wants to use the kids to restore her youth and keep herself young. While that is understandable, Alex really didn't deserve all that abuse. Aunt Gladys is somewhat of a mysterious character. We know she's a witch. She looks like it. She acts like it. She's manipulative. It's just, I don't know, there's just a dab of the supernatural involved, but not enough to call this fantasy or fantasy horror. I think someone else said it better. This might be more of a thriller film, to be honest with you, because it does have you on your edge of your seat quite a bit. But for me, at least, it's a very, very, very good movie. But I wish we had had more in this. Supposedly, there is a cut of the film that was an extra 15 minutes longer. Kind of curious what that version of the film would look like, but we'll just have to see and find out. For me, at least, this film is still a very good, very strong 8 out of 10. That's it. What did you think of Weapons? Let us know down below. We really appreciate it. It's available to stream now. And what other horror films should we watch? Yeah, let's go with that one. Spooky season is upon us. And yeah, see everyone.